What's up, everyone? How are y'all doing today? It's your boy Spoopy. In today's video, we have a very special guest. You might know him along the Clashverse. This is Frame from Supercell HQ. How you doing today, Frame?
Not bad, Spoop. I just finished watching your live stream, like, what was it, 8 hours ago? I did not hack, I swear. I did not give you a free win. That was all on you, so...
Oh, okay. All right, man. All right, buddy. All right, guys. Well, anyways, this is, if you guys do not know, he is one of the community managers for Clash Mini. Frame, do you want to talk about your role as a community manager? How'd you get into Clash Mini? Yeah, just
I love
yourself.
how you said one of the, community managers. I'm the only community manager. There's
the only?
I was specifically hired for this game. So I was interviewed for this game, and ironically enough, I did not know that this was the game that I would be working on until I joined Supercell. So that kind of caught me off guard. I was like, wait a minute, I love these games. It was very funny. But no, yeah, it was a very fun little journey of mine throughout the past year and 2 or 3 months now.
You know, this game is getting better and better, I believe. You know, just like, you know, with the constant updates. You know, yeah, there are a couple of problems here and there, but again, guys, this game is in beta. I feel like that, you know, we just need to give this game time. But with that being said, though, Frame, you know, as a developer, are you playing Clash Mini? Do you have an account? What do you do?
I mean, as you know, we did play on your stream just recently. I opened up a few rooms. I kind of hijacked your stream, so to speak, to open up a few rooms. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to play. So yeah, I do have like my Frame Supercell account, which is basically my primary kind of account that I run with. And then I have another account, which is just another normal player account. And I try to like run these two in parallel because I want to see like different experiences and different perspectives. And sometimes I just create a brand new one to see a brand new player experience once we update the game with some major features. So arguably, I run 3 accounts at any given moment.
Golly.
Like with one throwaway, because it's like kind of like playing the first few weeks of like the game and see how the game feels after we update it. Because as you know, we often kind of like update the game to like address the concerns on the new player experience part of things as well, rather than just like cater to the existing players all the time, because we want to kind of like make sure that this game feels right for the new players as well.
Gotcha. So as someone that really plays the game, like, you know, put into our shoes, what is your favorite hero in Clash Mini and why?
Right now, it's Countess, actually. I love Countess because of just blinking around, creating chaos on the board. I think I wrote something somewhere where, like, I'm trying to watch your videos, I'm trying to watch Enchantment's videos, I'm trying to watch Full Frontage's videos, Abdude's videos, to, like, learn how to play the decks that you guys are using, but I'm failing miserably. Like, I'm so bad at following instructions with, like, decks that you guys come up with. So I just go in and play the hero that I like and play the minis that I like and just try to play it the way I want and try to win, try to get to Legendary. And that's basically my style of playing the game. I don't really follow the rules. So yeah, and I think that was almost the vibe of the latest balance and rework changes. So yeah, we do have kind of an interesting mindset here.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like that, you know, a lot of people are saying that, you know, this game is absolutely busted, that you need to fix your game. But honestly, coming from, you know, I started playing Season 2. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I came in around March, and when I was playing around, you know, we had so many different diversity of heroes. We had things such as Priest, we had things such as Wave Master. You know, there's so many viable heroes within Season 3 that kind of breathes new air into the game. You know, even things like Archer Queen and World Champion, we can see niche play. But I gotta say, you guys did a phenomenal job with balance.
No, thank you. And that is all thanks to actually a new team member that joined us recently that was also kind of having fresh eyes on the balance perspective as well, together with Fan. And I think that the main theme was to kind of make a unique identity for each mini even stronger. So basically have their own unique ways of gameplay be amplified and for them to actually be noticeable if you play them. And I think a lot of these minis did deliver on that fantasy of like, if you're playing Electro Wizard, you should be stunning a bunch of people.
Yes.
If you're playing a Magic Archer, you should be shooting a bunch of arrows. If you are playing a Royal Ghost, you should go invisible for some time with your team. A lot of these minis are really powerful right now, except that, you know, community always tends to kind of like laser focus on one thing that like everybody makes videos of and is perceived as broken, which is Very often the case. I've seen a bunch of videos where like Royal Ghost runs around, just kills everything and nothing can stop him. But actually, ironically enough, Royal Ghost doesn't have a huge win rate at lower levels before it's 3 stars. And now you would expect me to say, but he's 100 win percentage at 3 stars, but that's not the case.
Really? Wait, what? Wait, explain.
We've checked the data on the latest information that we have in the game's backend, and actually the win rate of 3-star Royal Ghost is only 49%.
49%? That's it? There are so many garbage people playing that. No! Oh my god. Okay, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. 49%. Okay, so you guys heard it here first. 49% of people using level 3 Ghost are actually getting victories. Do you think, and I know this is a game balancing question, but how do you guys really come together and decide what mini is overpowered and what mini is weak?
I think it's a mix of things. So obviously there is data that I just mentioned, but that's not the whole story. Some players are just better at using these minis in a certain way. And we observe, the creators, you guys that are making videos, but we also observe casual players. We can also monitor players that are under a certain level. So for example, if somebody just unlocked 3-star Royal Ghost, we can see how much success rate they have versus somebody that's really experienced in the game. And actually, once we realize that actually the mini isn't as broken as people would perceive it, I actually try to educate people in a way to show them that actually things aren't as bad as they would love them to be. And actually, so now as a community manager and somebody that makes content on social media, I'm actually making a compilation of videos where I actually show to people how to counter Royal Ghost 3-star, which actually involves quite a bit of minis. So you can actually counter him pretty well with quite a bit of minis, except that people are just focusing on these videos that are getting the clicks. It's easier to make a video that says in caps lock, Royal Ghost is broken.
That's not me. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, but instead of having a title that says, here is all the ways you can counter 3-star Royal Ghost and still have fun with the game and not change your deck so drastically, right? That doesn't get you too many clicks rather than just O-face thumbnail, right? So yeah, it's a balancing act with us, and we still keep monitoring. Just 2 days ago, we asked Fan, would this warrant an emergency patch, emergency balance fix? And we still want more data. We still want to see more people actually playing this mini to a degree where we can actually feel confident that this actually warrants an actual balance update. Because we also don't want to be knee-jerk reacting to a few videos where people are kind of highlighting this kind of mechanic. So yeah.
If I can be 100% honest, I feel like that, the first part of Season 3, a lot of people were gravitating towards the Barcher meta within Barbarian, Archer, and, a lot of people were just saying there's only one viable deck, actually including Enchanted. Me and him talked throughout DMs, and I showed him 3 different decks that fully counters this list, being an Archer Queen deck, being another Barbarian King deck with Wizard, and being with Valkyrie. Honestly, I feel like that people need to be more creative and not just use something to win, because again, this game's in beta. We're not going to see too many of these balance updates. You have to kind of branch out with all these different minis within the game to see what's going to win, what's not going to win.
Absolutely. That is something that I really encourage people to do. I think that's what Clash Mini is trying to do as well. Educate people on all the options they have. Don't just focus on things that you know. And I know this could be hard. When I play a card game, for example, Clash Royale is a perfect example. I try to stick with the cards that I know how they work, and I'm too lazy to learn the new ones. So I'm just lazy playing my own deck the same way I've always was and expect it to work every single time the game gets updated. And that's just simply not the case sometimes. And again, I don't want to sound we're just going to ignore you on the Royal Ghost feedback and we will just do nothing about it. It's just that we want to get more actual concrete data that is telling us that something is broken. In the case of Barcher, actually that was the case. We did see a bunch of combinations and synergies where things did really go out of control. But in this update, we're not really seeing these kind of data that is supporting any kind of need for emergency fix. So yeah.
I think that's a great thing. A lot of people yelling and screaming, one day put their own shoes in the mind of a developer, into balance, into, the reasons why that they have different goals. And I do know that some people within the top 1,000 or top 100, they're going to use things, in their profile picture is going to showcase their deck. It's going to tell casual players, oh wow, this looks like to be a very strong deck because these guys are seeing success, and it kind of, in my mind at least, seems like a trickling effect. But yeah, thank you so much for the for the insight on Royal Ghost. I would never think that it only had such a small win rate, being at 49%. So let's move on to another question. How do you deal with negative feedback? Coming through the mini feedback channel, seeing people spamming, just pretty much just hurtful stuff about, developers. Like, for me, when I get a negative comment, I look at it and I beat up my pillow, I look at my cat, and I'm like, oh, it's not worth it. How do you handle negative feedback as a community manager? Because you see it on Twitter, you see it on Facebook, you see it on everywhere.
The way I see negative feedback is I don't focus on where it is coming from, who wrote it. I ask myself why it was written. And that is a great mindset to have, because very often the person that is giving you negative feedback is not coming from a bad place, but it's coming from a place of frustration, and the place of where the person has been experiencing a certain frustration for an extended period of time and has no ways of articulating such a feedback in a coherent way. And so when you see an angry comment on Twitter or on YouTube, a lot of the cases warrants mute or ban or whatever tools you have to disable a person from attacking you further. But at the same time, try to ask yourself every single time, why is this person writing this? And is there a deeper meaning, a deeper problem with your game or with your way of delivering feedback to the players, and try to fix it? I mean, there is no harm in considering negative feedback and thinking in reverse, kind of reverse engineer it almost. And sometimes that yields very positive results. I even sometimes just copy paste a bunch of super negative feedback and compile them into one document and try to find a pattern in which I can be come back to my team and be like, hey, we're seeing a bunch of negative stuff here. Is there really a problem here? Let's have a meaningful discussion. And that really does yield a lot of great results, and that's what matters.
Wow, that is such a good way that's a good, hey guys, I'm gonna let you guys know real fast. I never sent Frame any of these questions, and you're out here Dr. Filling every single one of them. So I just gotta give I gotta give you some love, bro. I gotta give you some love. All right, favorite mini?
Magic Archer. Yeah, I wasn't... Okay, so listen. I did not know about the rework of the Magic Archer until we basically confirmed the changes, and I had to write them because I'm the guy that writes the stuff in the inbox that goes in the game news section of the game. Yeah. And so I was very happy to see the triple shot rework and the attack speed increase and all that stuff. I'm so excited about this mini because when I play MOBAs and when I play RPG games, I'm usually the archer type of player. I'm ranged DPS, kind of hard carry ADS player.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy this kind of gameplay. Now you would ask me, why don't you play Archer Queen then? And my answer is that I also like to have a little bit of a chaos mixed in with the ranged damage dealing. So I love Magic Archer being able to kind of output such a damage and then support minis that are causing the chaos in the front lines. So I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I just gotta say this real quick. I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, EU is my favorite." And I think everyone knows my favorite mini being Dark Goblin. I love how you guys reworked him, because having infinite range and having him stack. It's so much fun to finally play something that's going to be concentrating on just DPS and DPS alone. And I know you can say oh, what about with Archer? What about with Archer shooting across to the back of the map? Well, Dark Goblin can also fire, to the front line and then work on the back line. It just feels like it just feels like Dark Goblin is just a breath of fresh air. And you guys did a great job of identifying what Dark Goblin does and what Spear Goblin does. And I got to give you guys a lot of props for that.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I love the Goblin characters. I try to use Spear Goblin as well very often. And actually, funny enough, I almost never go for the damage increase at the beginning. I always go for the third upgrade, because I do enjoy attack speed, because that kind of gives me the ability to take out minis much faster and then work on them later over the time. With other minis in the backline. But yeah, no, again, as I mentioned, I'm really in love with the current identities of the minis. So much so that I actually wish we would not do major reworks and balance changes for the new update. So, because I do believe that right now the state of the game is really fun. So yeah.
I 100% agree. I feel like you just need to make one or two changes, and I feel like this game would be so much more fresh to play. Another question, okay, very controversial. I don't think you'd be able to answer this, but best waifu in the game?
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Oh man, I'm not sure. I know you're using Healing Ranger. Like a lot of female characters that we do have in the game right now are extremely unique and powerful, and I love that aspect of our game. Countess is, like, again, as I mentioned, I mean, I even cosplayed into Countess, so what do you want? Like, what more do you want from me? You know, like, I did a minute, like, cosplaying as an actual count. So, yeah, there's many, I mean, obviously, I think, to me, the top are basically Countess and Shield Maiden.
You know what? Okay, in frame, I'm gonna let you know this right now. After this, I'm gonna send you a picture of some wild fan art of Shield Maiden X Countess. I don't know if you've seen it, dog, but I'm all over it. It's currently my desktop background. It's printed out. It's actually on my wall. It is so good. It's such a good art.
I do believe that was during the Valentine's Day that somebody actually made it. Yeah, I did see it. I think I retweeted it even on Twitter. I'm not sure. Yeah.
God, that is so funny. You know, and there's another thing, like retweeting art. You know, fan art that's allowed in the community. You know, it doesn't matter if it's safe for work. You know, as long as it's safe for work, really. But oh man, I love the community art. Like, you know, just like another artist, I think her name is Icy Tam Tam, makes phenomenal pieces, and it really just brings flavor. It brings flavor into the game because it tells people from Clash Royale, from Clash of Clans, wow, this is a really adorable miniature version of my favorite, you know, of my favorite unit. You know, I want to know what the original source is, or if it's just a fan art, and then people get introduced into Clash media that way. I want to give her some love. You know, she is absolutely OP.
No, yeah, I mean, Icy Tam Tam, I mean, she was the first person to be hosting with me the stage channel. Like, I invited her on the first Discord stage channel ever, and I really wanted to give her a spotlight because she jumped on Clash Mini fan art hashtag, like, from day one.
So, another thing is Skeleton King. You know, and I know we're going to switch topics. Do you ever see Skeleton King's third ability ever being switched with his second ability or even first ability?
I'm not a balanced guy. I don't play Skeleton King, so it's really hard for me to, from like balanced mindset perspective, see this as a question that I can actually answer.
No, you're absolutely fine.
I could ask Fan and the balancing kind of the team that to see if they see any major issues with the Skeleton King. I did lose quite a bit of games just like from my own personal gameplay when I play ranked duels, when I play contests, and so like I don't see major problems with him. But again, I'm not a balanced guy, so just don't take it.
No, you're fine.
Like I can double check with Fan and the balancing team and see what they think about him. Yeah.
Okay, so I just got this comment from one of my subscribers saying, how can they? Is there any positioning open to join a balancing team or to join the moderation team? They're very interested in kind of partaking that role if there is any spots open.
There is no such a title in Supercell that's called balancing specialist. We usually balancing is taken over or is done by the game designer, and game designers are in charge of a lot of things. In Supercell, very often we are all generalists. We do not really have only one single skill that we're good at, because the reason being that our team is very small. We are like 15, 16, 17 people right now on the game, and that's it. Like, all of us need to do a lot of things at the same time that are not expected in some bigger companies. And so game designers are usually in charge of the balance. So if you do want to be in charge of the balance in Supercell, you probably need to be a good game designer to begin with. Then there needs to be a Clash Mini position open for a game designer, which I'm not sure if it is. Maybe it is still. But yeah, check out Supercell Careers website and see the game designer job description begin with, so get the general idea of what we're looking for. On the moderation side of things, our Discord is fully ran by the team over there. So join Clash Mini Discord and see the moderator applications. Once the moderator applications are open, you can apply and the moderating team will consider your application. They will put you on trial, and then once you pass the trial, you're going to be a full-time moderator, and then we can talk about balance. The good thing is that I am actively talking to the moderator team about how do we proceed with balancing feedback specifically. And this is going to take a while because we want to create a system that actually is filtering the knee-jerk reactions from the players and actually considering the long-term feedback from the players into a real balance patch down the line. So that is what we want to do, and have a system where we can actually, the feedback can come to us filtered in a way that is actually not a bunch of noise, and then we can consider it seriously moving forward in the next update. So yeah, we are working on that, and our Discord is really powerful for that purpose. So yeah, we hopefully are going to have some Discord announcements relatively soon where we will explain how the balanced feedback specifically would work and how we would consider it.
Well, good. Yeah. And I just got to say real quick, I want to give a huge shout out to the Discord moderators, already there. Draco's always online, like 24/7. I guess this guy never sleeps. I'd love to everyone, that's out there active, to all the chat spammers to seeing, like, oh, they're not even caring about the game. Not really silencing, we tell them like, hey, you're allowed to have an opinion, put into mini feedback, and we're able to review it. And I do agree that there's just a bunch of noise currently there right now, and it's hard for you guys to scroll through thousands of messages, just to see, oh wow, it's just the same thing over and over again. Or it's just, it's like a thought.
Yeah. That is the hardest part. That's why years of experience in gaming industry kind of comes in handy, where you kind of like know what to ignore, what kind of to take seriously, and from whom. But yeah, we definitely want to encourage people to share they believe should be considered for the future of the game. And then once that is kind of like polished and we actually have a good filter, we can actually come back to the team and have like a document listed everything from the community feedback regarding the balance that we can consider. But that also goes for the feature feedback. It's like if players want a certain thing to be added to the game, we would also consider that. And I gather that all the time.
If you don't mind, I actually want to share one of my ideas real fast for you. Just first impressions, I just want to see what you think about this. Because you play the game, I play the game. I would love to see just like, just a random tile, right? That, like a random map that has all the tiles on the map. So it's really based on, so it's just a bunch of chaos. So you have like the cloud map, you have the mirror tile, you have the electricity tile, and you have the healing tile, all into one place. What are your thoughts? Would you think you would ever consider that if you were a game designer?
I mean, I would. I feel like the mindset of our game designers as well is that, like, can we make new game mode more unique and more engaging rather than just like mix existing things up and throw them into the pool? I do love the idea of like having like both sides have a bunch of different tiles that you need to use or not use and kind of mind game around that aspect. I would be the first person that would just put my minis all around the tiles and not use them at all. So there is a lot of this kind of stuff that is playing into that. I do believe that there is a healthy mix of like how many of the existing mechanics do we use just to create a new game mode versus actually creating a new game mode with brand new mechanics that nobody has ever seen before. And so we know that we did get a lot of feedback with a bunch of tiles, mirror tile being toxic and please just remove it and stuff like that. And we are very much aware that like the tile system isn't perfect and there is a lot of areas to improve, and we just need to come around and like actually look into that system a little bit better.
And for my last question today, how did you get into Clash Mini? Into game design, really, in all? Did you graduate from a certain college and just applied here, or did you get picked up from someone? I just want to know more about you, Frame. I want to know about the man, the myth, the single man, hopefully.
Okay, so my story, how I got into Clash Mini. I believe you mostly are referring to like Clash Mini team and Supercell.
Yes.
All right, I haven't graduated university. The reason for that is that I was in the university and I was very passionate about just games overall. I wrote a blog, a fan site. I hosted a podcast about the games that I loved. I was running official fan sites for a bunch of games that I loved before. And that passion, after probably 6 or 7 or 8 years, did yield some results, where the first gaming company gave me a job offer to work in their studio in Shanghai. And that offer came when I was 25 years old. I was at the university, and that was a job offer in a pretty reputable game company. I was thinking to myself, I cannot pass this up. If I wanted to get into the games industry at this moment, it's such a reputable company and name, and work on a game that is going to, who knows, if it's going to be killed, if it's going to be a success, it doesn't matter. Your career could start there and then move from there at that point. So it was a good entry point for me. I just wanted to give it a shot. I moved all the way to China. I've never lived outside of Serbia. I originally come from Serbia in a very small town, maybe 20,000 people total. Wow. And I came to Shanghai, which is like 20 million people. people. It was just mind-blowing to me, the scale and the speed at which people live here. And I got excited for like actually just working in the games industry in such a dynamic city. And I just worked as a community manager for like 5 years straight. And I never lost my passion. I never burned out, never really had a lot of distractions outside of my job where I could just like, if I had 12 hours a day to do something, I would just do it. So yeah, I put my whole heart into the community management, into game production. And yeah, that's how my career basically evolved. Then later I joined Tencent. I worked on PUBG Mobile since launch for the first year or year and a half. Then eventually I came to Supercell, and to be honest, I was one of those guys that would like believe that you're not good enough for Supercell because job descriptions and the reputation of the company kind of like is really hard to process, you know, kind of like understanding like what the actual quality bar is because it's such a small company. Considering there's so many successful games from such a single company. I was very surprised to get a call from the recruiter. I just came as myself to the interviews. I just talked from the way I feel about the games industry, about the games, about everything that I worked on before, and they liked it. I just ended up having a call with everybody in the company and kind of like, you know, talking to everybody, and that was the end of the story. Like, you know, I met everybody here on the team beforehand, and they kind of all seemed to have liked me. So one of the things that I really did fall in love with was just the passion of the people that work on the game, because this is the first game coming out of an office that is not in HQ in Helsinki, which is a big challenge because the company, again, has this reputation for all the cool games coming from one place, but nobody has ever like expected new games to come out from a different continent. And so that kind of, to me, it felt like one of the coolest challenges because you kind of need to create a new team, create a new culture, and create a brand new passion for a brand new game in a brand new location. And there is a lot of new things for you to learn and to understand and be excited about. So I do wake up every day at like 6 a.m. and I go to the office and I get really excited about the work that I do, simply because I know that everybody that works on the game is really passionate as well about it, and that the players are also going to tweet at me mostly with cool things, sharing their excitement for the game as well. I think like that is what drives me until I get very, very old. So,
well, hey, Frame, thank you so much for coming on the channel. It's really good to get an insight on just tell people you are a person just like you and me. You know, we're not, you know, you're not a superhuman person that can just snap their fingers and make something happen overnight. You know, you're just a normal person that came about and joined a company through, you know, through your passion and through your excitements. And I really want to thank you for coming on.
No, thank you so much, Spoop. I appreciate your honesty, your excitement for the game as well. Like, that is something that is really hard to come by, and I really want to just say thank you for everything that you've done so far for the game. And yeah, I mean, we will continue watching the streams and have fun, and hopefully the next few updates are going to be exciting as well for you guys and fresh, and, you know, we'll just keep on making the game as best as we can.
Perfect. Well, guys... Oh, and not, you know, not just me. You know, also the Shui Ming to Full Frontage to all the content creators out there. Keep posting content, okay? The biggest thing right now is to make people look at those games, right? And to see that, like, oh, I want to download Clash Mini. Give their feedback. The more people that we get feedback from, it's gonna be better. So tell your families, tell your dog, download an account, and play Shieldbane. I don't know. Well, thank you guys very much for joining in. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel. And also, follow Clash Mini and follow Frame on Twitter. Do it right now. It's right here in my hand that I'm cradling right now. Hopefully, this is being edited in, or I look like a fool. Well, guys, thank y'all very much for watching. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everyone.